Something came from Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore. Something came from Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore.
Welcome to another episode of Something Came from Baltimore. I'm your host, Tom Gouker, and tonight on the phone, all the way from Norway, I have the wonderful Kirsti Huke. First, let's take a listen from the YouTube download sensation. It's a version of Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And a couple of projects throughout the years, most famously for a Norwegian doom metal experimental band called Third and the Mortal. In 2016, Kirsti Huke was hired as an assistant professor at the jazz program at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, and then she was awarded a commissioned work assignment. Inspiration for this album by a trip to India, and her songs took shape. Themes are explored: poverty and privilege, fellowship and community, and memory and dread. Weaving is a multi-spin record. You're just going to have to sink your teeth into it for the multiple plays to enjoy this album. Kirsti Huke, welcome to Something Came from Baltimore.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, how are you doing with this COVID-19 pandemic over in Norway?
2 days ago, I had my gig and rehearsals with my musicians again, and I was with an actual physical audience in a room with people. It was just amazing. These last 3 months, everything has happened from my apartment. So I've just been administrating, and I also teach at the Jazz Academy here in Trondheim, and everything has been, via the internet on Zoom. So it's just been kind of going in a floating, and it's been in some ways also really nice because, you have the time to maybe reflect on some things. And
do you feel that people were grateful to be in the room and actually listening to music together? Did you feel that there was a different type of energy?
Definitely, yeah. The room was, what would you say, like, when you're in a church and everything is just very, it's like this is just something very, very special.
This solo album, I'm going to pronounce it, you're going to tell me if I did it right, is Dilo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So in theory, that is your most straight up jazz album so far. And what are those influences that got you excited about that genre of jazz?
Many references there, but I would say I always been using my voice and singing, and I was taking classical lessons from the age of like 11 up to 14, and I just knew I could sing, but it didn't work out because my voice was worse, and this wasn't my style. And so I heard Billie Holiday, and that just changed everything for me. And from there, I was introduced to the great American jazz singers by my vocal teacher. And I would say Sarah Vaughan, she's always been with me. And the way that to listen to a singer just sing with that kind of freedom in a band, because you hear that she's not, she's not on top, she's not on the surface, she's digging into the material, and she knows all the chord changes and so there's all the big ones, Ella and Sarah Vaughan, Anita O'Day, Shirley Horn, Nancy Wilson, and Frank Sinatra. All those singers with that freedom, and that was what really hit me first. And then I started to listen to a lot of instrumentalists as well. And I was really into bebop when I studied at the Jazz Academy myself. And I really loved Wes Montgomery because it was like he was, he was just, it wasn't a voice, but he was singing on his guitar.
You've had some scatting background, but your whole way that you're laying out, weaving the whole album is very like minimal and spatial. It has a little EDM elements to it, and it's very experimental, but also very melodic. It seems like you've been workshopping this album for the last 3 years. Is it a concept album?
Yeah, it is a concept album. Do you want me to tell a story about it? And I think if my discography, you will see that it's kind of been like a process. I can hear it myself that, 2 years and I released that album. It's a standard album. And then I started to write my own music, and I still wanted to keep the same musicians. But then when I started to write myself, the songs just sounded very different. And then I started a new project, and then you move on. It just and then you start to collaborate, to work with musicians that give you input and maybe are into other genres. So it's like constantly, for me, you just constantly get inspired by the people that you sing with and play with. And for me, it has been I've been thinking that, you should decide, do you want to do jazz or do you want to do, what do you want to do? But then I just, I decided I'm going to just embrace all, the music that comes to me. And when I decided that, then after that, my life just got much more easy.
Looking at me, and you want to be held. In your eyes, I see myself as a girl. But you never stood a chance with me, did you?
One thing about jazz, it's about exploration. And when you are starting out, when I just started out listening to jazz, all I did was explore, and I still explore. And I feel that people get in the pocket, and I can tell you exactly the type of music that really turns me on, but I still like to explore. And I think your album is full of exploration, and I love it. And I feel that any jazz fans should embrace it also.
To watch the boys fly their kites in the air, and to feel the city beneath. Is this a mistake? I don't know. Time will tell.
We're going to talk about some of the tracks. I'm actually going to ask you to talk about 4 of them. I looked at, I think 3 of them are available on YouTube. And when you perform live, I think it's great to watch because the songs have a lot of space in them. And I think that the visuals of you guys working together kind of fill in the song, so it feels a little more warmer. Time Will Not Let Me Forget is the more or less the single from this album, but it's also on a YouTube. Could you tell us a little more about that song?
Time Will Not Let Me Forget. Yeah, I released that song as a single in April, and I changed my mind because of Corona. Actually, I was going to release Golden Child, which is another track on the album. But I just felt that because Golden Child is more like, hey, come on. It's like a happy song. And I just felt that, no, I think people need to be embraced and and just cared for. So I released Time Will Not Allow Me to Forget. And about that song, it's the first track, but I could also have put it at the end, because it's kind of the song that says everything that I really want to say. It kind of embraces the whole album.
Something's changed, never again will I be the same. And the promises I made right here, time will not allow me to forget. If I only had more time, if I only knew that I would find peace of mind under a gray sky far away from home. Time will not allow me to forget.
The next song I'd like to talk about is Dear Sisters, and since I've been playing this song, I can't get it out of my head. It's haunting me and for a long period of time now. So,
Wow.
not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, when I wake up, your vocals, like I'm singing the song when I wake up. I'm going to the bathroom, I'm singing the song. It just won't. It's just constantly in my head on repeat. So there you go. Thank you. And what is going on with Dear Sister?
Oh my God! Thank you so much. Dear Sisters, yeah, that's actually a song that we're back again in India, and what I experienced there with the women that I met, and especially the two sisters. I was staying in their house. They're running a small academy teaching, so a lot of women came there to be taught dance and theater, and I just I met so many fantastic women, and I felt this not companionship, but like a really togetherness or community, like a very, very strong community. And I heard a lot of stories that was hard to hear because the culture is so different. So that song is about all the women that I met on that journey. Yeah, and my stay in India.
Oh, dear sisters, you took me in. You told me about your freedom and how lucky you've been. Intense heat burns up the light, but behind our solid fences we can be whoever we like.
The next song that I'd like to talk about is Golden Child. What is that song all about?
I was on a road trip in, I think we were in Colorado. We were pulled over by this state trooper. And I just heard this, "You are the state trooper." It's just, I couldn't get it out of my head. So, yeah, that was the stage. But it's actually about being, it's about having the privilege to leave or to get out of a situation. because you are privileged. I mean, let's say that you're poor and you don't have the funds or the ability, you can't get out of your situation. In this song, it's about this person getting out of a situation that she doesn't want to be in.
You were the state trooper pulling me off the road. I was the lonely driver, never been on these roads before. You asked me where I was from and where I was heading. You made me feel so ashamed. Is that the way to behave? Waking up in the fetal.
The one song I'd like to talk about is called Inside the Net. There's a lyric about everyone's going to the wedding. They're talking about it and they're embarrassed. What's the wedding, or what's that song about in general?
It's actually about rape, but not like a particular like one. But you hear about all these masks, and so that's kind of it's a picture. I kind of made. Yeah, it's actually about a rape. Yeah.
I listen to the sound from the city beneath and I long to be a part of it. I hear drums from a wedding nearby. I heard about the wedding last month. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone feels bad about it.
The album is called Weaving. It's on the Jazzland Records, and I'm speaking to the excellent jazz experimentalist from Norway, Kirsti Huke. Thank you for joining me on Something Came from Baltimore.
Thank you so much for having me.
I cover my hair, my neck, my shoulder.
Hi, it's Tom Gouker, and I am the host of Something Came from Baltimore. Something Came from Baltimore is a words and music podcast, and it has famous and future famous artists like Sean Jones, Rupert Holmes, Auntie Hammy, Joey DeFrancesco, Go-Go Penguin, Joey Alexander, Bucanti, Gerald Albright, Paula Cole, and Kat Edmondson. It's music that matters. It's music for your ears. Listen and subscribe to Something Came from Baltimore and be a part of that Be More music scene.
Something came from Baltimore.